Zoom is made for a wartime measure. You know, when you have a war in a country, everything is closed. The school, the shops, everything is closed. The church, of course, closed. And believers, what do? They write love letters to each other, encourage one another. They can't meet physically. Now, that is a wartime measure. But when the war ended, schools open, shops open, and people start coming out, it's only right to gather physically again. So I want to give you 3 truths about communion of saints, about gathering together physically. In conclusion, all right? Why should we gather physically? Whether in worship service or cell group, okay? Now, I'm going to give you 3 points. Whether you have done it or not is another matter, okay? You start from the truth first, okay? Number 1, why? Because communion of saints is about both receiving and giving, and that is serving. You get what I mean? You come together for a meeting, and most people come together for the purpose of receiving encouragement or receiving a message. So it seems that you can do it through Zoom also, but most people always miss the serving element. In fact, what actually makes you grow is the serving after the receiving. You get what I'm trying to say? It's the giving after the receiving. Now, think about this. If at home, my kids just sit on the table and wait for meals to be served, that means they haven't grown up, right? Come a day, they say, Dad and Mom, please sit down, and they cook up a meal and start serving us. It is then that I know they have grown up, and they will keep growing from there, right? So the thing about coming together physically, now I understand we have young parents, our children are still young, and you bring your children to service, then after that, you think about bringing them out for a meal with brethren. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's inconvenient. You have to carry them, manage them. And sometimes you are worn out. And some brethren, at a point of time, think about it. When you've done that, some brethren at a point of time saw how hard it is for you. And they felt compelled to come and help you carry your child, Now, that means you are giving them a chance to serve you. You understand? You are giving them a chance to practice love and compassion. And you as a parent is responsible to bring your child to church so that they know the uncles and the aunties or the youths, and so that they can carry them without any problem. You get what I mean? Because they are familiar with them. Now, that is communion of saints. Even the children receive grace, and everyone serve each other. And sometimes I understand you have a dilemma about attending a physical cell group on a weekday. Say, for instance, the child has to sleep early, he gets cranky. So during then, how to attend meetings? So one parent has to sacrifice. Stay at home, look after the kid or the 2 kids or the 3 kids, stay at home. Say, for instance, I understand some of you have a maid, but of course, I have a maid before, so I know sometimes we cannot trust the maid, So if you cannot trust her, of course, one parent has to stay, and the other parent goes to the meeting to serve or whichever. And in doing that, it's inconvenient, but it's commendable. Because that would mean the whole family has got into giving and serving. Right? You serve your brethren. And for instance, one parent, meaning one of the spouse, stay behind so that the other spouse can receive grace and serve. So you effectively are serving your spouse. You get what I mean? And then also receiving the serving from the brethren. So this is not going to be forever, because your child will grow up. But it's a commendable thing at this stage of your life. if you pray through that. Now understand that, now, I have children before, okay? I, of course, have went through everything all of you have went through as young parent. And my children are just 1 year apart. I know all the inconvenience, all the difficulty, but that is what makes your attendance, your physical gathering beautiful, and it will be a testimony to the people after that. Okay, so think about that. It's coming not to receive, but to serve. And if you want to serve, there should be inconvenience, and you know. So, spouse, as you come together and pray, this must be your prayer. When you talk about husband and wives coming together to pray, pray for what? You pray for my child and grow up to love the Lord. I pray for my family to be used by the Lord. Yeah, how? This is the kind of prayer I'm talking about. To serve and let yourself be served. To serve all and let all serve you. Now, this is not possible through Zoom, my brethren. It's possible only when we gather physically. And some of you, I think, I don't know whether you start feeling the pressure, like see what in Isabel and Waiting and Han Hong, very soon, you'll be in this category, and but take time, okay? I mean, it's always difficult at the start, but I'm preaching this message to encourage all of you, okay? And this is meant for an encouragement. It's not meant to be a pressure, okay? But whichever you receive it, that's for the Holy Spirit to work, okay? Okay, second, why physical gathering? If we love each other, we like to meet physically. And do you know that there is always a price of real sacrifice for relationship to deepen? Say, for instance, I tell you, yesterday I was compelled to give a $500 Thanksgiving offering to the church. If I tell you that, what will you feel? You say, well, Pastor, wow, I'm happy for Pastor. He must be happy over something, very thankful about something that happened in his life. Okay, that's all you feel. But if I tell you that yesterday, I spent a whole day ministering to a brethren, and what would you feel? You would say, wow, that must be a lot of time and energy spent. And for Pastor to do that, despite his busy preaching schedule, that person must be very important to Pastor. Am I right? Now, if I tell you I spent $500 Thanksgiving, or my whole day helping, shepherding someone. Now, why do you think this way? If I gave $500, I could easily earn it back. But for the time and energy that I've spent, it's gone forever. I cannot have it back anymore. Now, the thing about all this e-communication, social medias, emails, Zoom, no matter how convenient they are, it is much, much less time and energy consuming. It may get things done, it gets the message across, but in terms of deepening relationship, it is very less helpful. Don't you think so? Now, if you are parents here, you ask, how do you build relationship with your kids? Sometimes, and my kids at home, I know they're doing something in the room. Usually when you don't hear anything, all three of them will be on their handphones. So I know they are kind of absorbed by the handphone, so it's about time I ask them to stop. So I write a message to them through WhatsApp in my room. I say, kids, please stop, get back to work. You should be disciplined. Okay, compare it with, I put down my work, go to their room, knock on their door, open up, and say, kids, what are y'all doing? Wait, Father, 5 minutes. And always 5 minutes, the 5 minutes, always 5 minutes, Okay, why no discipline? I already say stop, right? 10 minutes ago, I already say stop, but still 5 minutes, okay? And then, okay, what are you playing? Let me see what you're doing, Okay, have more discipline, you know what, okay? What is the time now? Look at the time, So I have to go through all this with them. No. Think about it, If I just send a message, it takes 2 seconds. But if I go to them, struggle with them, it takes 2 minutes, plus all the distraction I have. When I'm on my work, I got to stop, get up, go to their room, talk to them, negotiate with them. No, the thing is, of course, my kid will love it if I just send them a message. But over time, it's not going to deepen our relationship. Am I right? But it's through this effort, these struggles, time and energy spent, then I gravitate them towards my belief, my values, and my temperaments. You get what I mean? Now, that's how the father and son relationship is being built. So think about it. You do all the Zoom. Yeah, sometimes you say, well, it gets the message across, but it's different. I can only say it's different. Because I know the amount of time and energy spent, you're traveling to the church and back, you're feeling the tiredness, and the group leader have to be watchful of the time, and they have to work tomorrow, so I have to be conscious also. Everyone puts in effort, you get what I mean? And that's how you learn to grow together. All right, you don't have that problem when you're in heaven, okay? But now, this is the way God trained us, our commitment, our love for each other, through expending that time and energy. And over time, somehow relationship deepens. Okay, that's why I'm for physical gathering, okay? And lastly, accountability. Now, I'm in pastoral work. I know many, many brethren will easily fall into sins, vices, addiction, and a messed up life when they don't meet up. Why? Because you don't meet each other physically, you have nothing to do, you have no one to be accountable to, chances are you will subject yourself to temptation. And that's why I can tell you very few distant relationship works, for obvious reasons, right? Now, some Christian couples, before they come for meetings, they had a quarrel. But because they know they are coming to meet their brethren physically, so they, even when not happy with one another, try to put on a front, try not to create that awkwardness. So sit down, receive the message, try to smile, although they're very angry inside. But after the meeting, talk to brethren, over the meal, and everything forget. Okay, so good, you go back. But if you compare it to Zoom, okay, what do? If Zoom is at 5 o'clock, or Zoom is at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock you quarrel with your spouse, most probably you will switch off the video. And your cell group will say, hey, why don't you switch off on the video? No, nothing, will be better, switch off the video. And after your quarrel, probably, one person, the wife might zoom in, and the husband will not happy, okay, just scroll the handphone, sit on one side. No one knows. You get what I mean? No one knows. I'm just stating an example. I don't mean it really happened. But if you have been in church long enough, this kind of thing happen. And we get accustomed to Zoom that way. So what I'm saying is the reality. It's the fact. As much as if we don't want to face it, we try to say things work, times change, certain things doesn't change. The sinful inclination doesn't change. And the truth that God has given us doesn't change. And you know why we sinners need accountability. So I understand the struggle. Okay, it's very difficult even for bosses nowadays to get their workers back to office. People don't want to go. They're so used to staying at home. So I'm going to give you something very simple. First, to start right, okay? You start right from the truth, not from convenience. And second, come together to pray about this. Try to work things out, fine-tune the details, iron out the timing, and then leave the Zoom for the overseas people. All right? And also, of course, also for those who are really, really fearful about coming to meet together physically, leave the Zoom for them. Okay? And then number 3, give everyone a date to end the Zoom gathering and get back to physical gathering. And this is the way to overcome hard decisions. The church cannot go with the tide. The DNA of the church is always to swim against the tide, because the church is ecclesia, out of the world. We are set apart, all right? Especially when the truth is concerned,